Scoobies, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically well. So today we're going to be talking in our first video in this series, called Dancing with Demons, about the Goetia. Okay? Now I need to make it very clear to everybody that I am not a ceremonial magician. In no way do I practice ceremonial magic. I am a witch who works with demonic entities. And I know a lot of you shy away, and you're terrified, and you're scared, and you think biblical, and you think, ooh, demons, evil. And what most people need to do is remove all of that from their mind, okay? Because Christianity, Catholicism, Jewish traditions, Islam, just everything has made the concept of pagan gods, which a lot of them are, into demonic entities. Evil, bad, they'll possess you, they'll kill you, they'll eat your soul, they'll do this, they'll do that, they'll do whatever. And that could be further from the truth. Some of them can be scary to work with because all demons, in fact, all angels, all gods, every one of your pagan gods that you've worked with, including Hecate and the Morrigan, everything does not come alone. You need to understand that in order to understand where we're going to go with this series. Demons are just another form of vibrational energy. They're just another thing to work with. Okay, there's lots of grimoires out there that paint them as one way or another way. There's the Bible that paints them as evil. There's this, there's that, there's everything. And quite frankly, I find it embarrassing when I see witches who are like, oh, demons are evil. Oh, you can't work with demons. Those are dark and malevolent. No. Okay. They're no worse than working with the Morrigan. They're no worse than working with Hecate. They're just another form of energy to help manifest whatever it is that you are trying to manifest. So we're going to talk about the Goetia, and I have notes because what good is doing a series on something if you don't have any notes? Okay? So people often think of the Key of Solomon when they think of the Goetia. But in reality, it's a particular genre of magic. So the Goetia is not a book. It is not a series of demons. It is not the Key of Solomon. It is not this, it is not that. It is a form of magic. It is a form of magic that I, myself, do not personally practice. When I work with demonic entities, when I work with demons, I am conjuring them, I wouldn't say manifesting, but I am conjuring them on the astral plane in a way that you might conjure the Morrigan, or that you may call upon Hecate to come and help you. This isn't about manifesting or conjuring some, ancient evil, this isn't a TV show. This is essentially what I'm getting to. So, when people talk about demons, when they talk about the Key of Solomon, when they talk about all of this type of thing, when they talk about what it's like to work with demons, what it's like to be around demons, all of that stuff, they are very misinformed. I think a lot of ceremonial magicians understand what it's like to work with demons in their elaborate ways, but I think even they kind of get it a little mixed up because, people like E.O. Coetting and like Black Witch S. Coven, they paint these entities as these mysterious, magical, powerful, dangerous entities, and they're not. They're no different than Hecate. The Hecate. They're no different than the Morrigan. They're no different. It's the only thing that I think scares a lot of people off is the word demon, because they think of The Exorcist. It is true that the demons that I work with do test. They will test you in various ways. They will try and get into your head. They will try and fuck with you. It is true that there are trickster spirits that Sometimes some of these demons will send to see just how dedicated you are to your path, to see how much of a magical magician you really are, how experienced you are. It is true that you have to have mental clarity, mental focus, and mental strength to deal with some of these entities, but you could argue that is the same of the Morrigan or Hecate, because do they not test you? Do they not, figure out who you are, especially if you're friends with somebody who doesn't work with Hecate, who is another witch? Hecate might pop over for a visit and be like, who the fuck is this person? You know what I mean? So the concept that demons are bad and scary and not a part of witchcraft is like saying the Bible is not a part of witchcraft. It might not be a part of your craft, but historically, in one way or another, it is a part of witchcraft. Now, when we think of demons and we think of witchcraft, we think of all of the, we think of the 80s satanic panic, we think of TV shows like Sabrina the SJW Witch, we think of, all this crap where we think of Supernatural, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed, so on and so forth, but that's fiction, that's not reality. So I'm hoping to give you bitches a dose of reality. So the word Goetia is a Greek word meaning howling, moaning, or lamenting, okay? Used by magicians who are called goets, conjurers of the spirits. This form of magic is ancient and more alike to shamanic practice than that of modern day Golden Dawn practices. Goetia is a lifestyle more than a form of magic. It is rooted in terrestrial systems of magic, putting the magician in touch with nature spirits and spirits of the terrestrial spheres. Some of these spirits were of fertility, the land, the dead, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when we think about what it's like to work with goetic magic, when we think about conjuring these spirits, these entities, it's just about, it's literally like, it's like another form of witchcraft. Except it's not witchcraft. It's an older form of magic that's more closely linked to shamanic magic. I mean, think about it. The olden days when shamanic magicians or shamans would put themselves into these trance-like states to communicate with demonic entities, or, well, I wouldn't say demonic entities, but spirits. At the end of the day, all a demon is a spirit. It's another form of spirit. Okay, it's just another entity to work with. In modern times, goetic magic is linked with foul, evil, dark, twisted monsters called demons. And when we look at the Key of Solomon, when we look at conjuring demons, when we hear about that, we think, as I just read to you, of evil, dark, mystical, dangerous, seductive creatures. We literally think about Hollywood fiction, because that's what's ingrained into us. That's what has been shoved down our throat, okay? And that's so far from the truth. People associate goetic magic with blood offerings, human sacrifices, as well as demonic pacts. People are f***ing stupid, is my thought process on that. Do we, in some instances, offer blood to demons or any entity that we work with? Be it Hecate, be it Morrigan, be it Odin, be it the spirits of the beloved, be it the spirits of the dead, be it the spirits of the land, be it, I don't know, f***ing unicorn that you see every day in your house. Maybe. I mean, there has been a few times where I will do a blood offering to a particular demon to give them an offering to help make a spell manifest faster, quicker, or, get through things that I need to get through. But, I'm not sitting here slashing my wrists and bleeding all over the floor and chanting, weird languages. It's a pinprick, people. That's all you need. You think a demon's gonna be like, hi, can you go next door and at your neighbor's throat. And at the end of the day, you know, you can't just assume these things. Like, I think a lot of people who think that working with demons is this evil, dark, magical, left-hand path, black magic thing are ignorant, uneducated morons. But that's just my opinion. Goetic spirits, the ones that I probably work with, because they do come from the Key of Solomon in some instances, you know, they are not always nice. And when working with them, prepare to be tested, prepare to be greeted by tons of spiritual entities, the legions that come with demons. If disrespected like in any other path or tradition, they will, you know, deal with the magician as they see fit. Okay, so I mean, think about working with the Orisha. You disrespect the Orisha, motherfucker, they're gonna kick your ass. You disrespect the Morrigan, motherfucker, she gonna kick your ass. You disrespect Hecate, motherfucker, she gonna kick your ass. I mean, how many times have we heard on YouTube about witches who have unintentionally disrespected a god or goddess and had their ass handed to them? This is the exact same thing with demons, or Goetic spirits, or whatever you want to call them. I prefer to call them demons. And again, not all of them are demons. Some of them are older pagan gods. Hello, Ashtaroth, otherwise known as Ashtaroth. Okay, and there's tons of other ones out there that are like that. The point is that you need to treat them with a level of respect, a level of dignity, in order for them to not kick your ass all over the place. Okay. Famous Goetia of the Leamington. I probably just said that wrong. Okay. It includes 4 mini grimoires. The Goetia is one of them, based off of the Neoplatonic cosmology that is the core of most Renaissance grimoires. So when we think of these ancient books, these grimoires, that deal with demons and conjuring spirits, a lot of them are from the Renaissance era. And in that era, there was a lot of experimentation. A lot of things were tied to astrology. A lot of things were tied to alchemy. A lot of, people who could conjure spirits, who could get them to do the bidding for them or for other people, you know? One concept was this concept of getting to know what the magician called boss spirits. The magician would get to know said spirits and would have their own spirits work with the magician to do the magical bidding. Above the earth lies the 7 heavens, and from each spirits, based on rank, were conjured and recorded. It was once the magician's job to find, communicate with, befriend, gather info, and record the data of the spirits, but those days are long over. Thank God that somebody else did that work. Am I right? Because if I had to go and reach out to Boone in some way, without knowing a sigil, without knowing his N, without knowing what he likes and what he doesn't like, that would be we'd be here for decades. We'd be here for decades! And that's where, the Renaissance was a big time of exploration. It was a big time of experimentation as well, especially in the magical arts. And it's important that when we work with these entities, that we respect that history, that we also respect them as spirits. I have recommended before, and will continue to recommend, that you do not reach out to these entities on the physical plane, because unlike the Morrigan, they, when they show up, it's legions and legions and legions of spirits, because they are essentially the boss. And it's not that Boone himself is going to go and drop everything he's doing to go do the spell for me, or to go and do as I requested. He's going to send one of his or many of his spirits out there to do the bidding, do the work for me. But I give him the offering. I give thanks to him, because he's the one who controls his spirits. Now, when we call upon the Morrigan, it's not necessarily true that she's going to get off her ass and, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing and I'm going to, go to a money spell for you. No, she's probably going to send some of her spiritual entities that she has out to do your bidding. Because you have to realize that these entities, these gods, these goddesses, these demons, these angels, they are not going to drop everything they're doing just because you lit a candle and asked. They're going to send somebody else out to do it. They're going to send another entity out to do it. Okay. So I hope that gives you kind of an introduction into where we're going with this series. And I really hope to dispel a lot of the preconceived beliefs and notions of working with demons, because they're not part of the left-hand path. Can they be used for the left-hand path? Definitely. I mean, so can the Morrigan, so can Gabrielle the angel, so can Michael the angel. I mean, so can God. Right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is you're using. It's not a thought process of angels good, demons bad. It's more of a thought process of what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and what is the appropriate entity to call upon. Okay? And again, this isn't a path for everybody. Just like witchcraft is not a path for everybody. Just like Wicca is not a path for everybody. Hoodoo is not a path for everybody. Working with the Orishas is not for everybody. That could potentially be cultural appropriation if you're white. You know what I mean? Like, working with lots of these entities is not for everybody. We all find what works for us and we work with it. For me, my path has evolved in a way where demons are a part of it, and I'm going to share that with you. Okay? So until the next episode, my friends, stay tuned to Dance with Demons.